Hello everyone and welcome back to From Our Basement Gaming.
Hi everybody.
We are back with part 14 of our Legend of Zelda Adventure of Link Let's Play.
Yes, that we are.
We made some decent progress last time.
We did.
We survived part 15 and we're here for 14.
And happy March.
Yes.
I know it's been
again. Yes. This is our third March video. Doing pretty good. We are back to our month ahead of time schedule.
Yes.
Now. Very nice.
We're ahead. That's a good thing.
Yes. And, so it will probably take either till later in this month's videos or in April's video for us to tell you about ChromaCon. To buy the badges for.
We do. We're bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Money's tight.
Yeah. But we will give you our report once we are recording post.
Yes.
But that is
You'll learn about it.
Through third, so by the time you're watching this, it's
yes.
yeah. But for us recording, it's a month away.
You know I'm trying to fight this guy named Cultivar.
Yeah, I would say just keep going.
by red and white rocks.
I'm trying to think of what track about this.
Well, we've talked a bit about Zelda's Historia, we've talked about timelines, we've talked about
Historia,
Hyrule Cinematic Universes.
yeah. That's what started this whole thing. And it was really, I think, the fans that came up with the idea
and insisted too.
Yeah. And then just not insisting, but being very passionate about it. And I think, Nintendo was like, hey, that's a good idea. I do want to try to do some more research to see who came up with these ideas.
No.
Because I assume Hyrule Historia is an English translation of a Japanese book, but I want to look that up for sure. To kind of try to... I don't know if I'll be able to find all of it, but I want to get to the bottom just how canon it is, especially since Eiji Aonuma doesn't seem like he completely agrees with the idea. But then again, well, not that he disagrees with it, but that he's not thinking about it when they're designing the game, I guess, is basically what he confirmed. Because he doesn't like to feel boxed in, as I discussed last time.
Yep.
So I'm just curious, like, is this one of those things where Nintendo of America was more heavily pushing it, or did it come from Japan first? That type of thing, because, frankly, we've seen, like with Sega, in terms of how they handled Sonic's lore. Like, Sega of America came up with their own Sonic lore, and then Sega of Japan saw it and was like, no. So, that's why I'm curious. If something similar happened, I kind of don't think so. I think Nintendo's a little more interconnected than Sega. I think part of Sega's issue was sometimes Sega of America went a little bit rogue.
Yeah, like Sonic being from Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the lore and the quote-unquote Sonic Bible they wrote had some things in it. The lore that they came up with, Sega of Japan was like, no, that's not canon.
Yeah.
But there are some other things in that just majorly about, if you make a Sonic game, you have to have this, and this, and you can't do these things. Right. I don't know what those things are because that part is classified, but...
Yes, classified information for only he, not thee.
Yeah. Only people within Sega. And I'm sure Nintendo of America has similar documents, but certainly after the leaks that happened, I think Nintendo is going to be even more tight-lipped about stuff. So I might not be able to even find any of the answers that I'm, seeking.
Mm-hmm.
It might be extremely hard, but we'll see.
Indeed.
Because that's the thing about Nintendo, it's sad. Like, they offer their hand, and then they get burned by someone, and then they, retreat and go in the opposite direction. Like, no, you can't touch my thing. Kind of like a child that lets you play with their toy, and then the guy, breaks the toy or does something horrible to the toy. And then he's like, I'm not sharing toys with you anymore. It feels similar to that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. That's a good analogy, by the way.
Thanks. I just came up with it now, but I'm glad it works. So.
Yeah, it does, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Because, Nintendo's protective of its IP.
Yes, and I think you know what company broke the toy of Nintendo's.
Oh, when they realized that they would actually have partial ownership of any property on their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing a game on Friday last month and this coming month on that system. Am I right?
Oh, that's another example, but no, I wasn't talking about that.
Oh!
I was talking about a more egregious example. But yes, in the case of Sony is an interesting case because, or Square rather, not Sony.
Oh!
Is also an interesting case because they actually were I guess somewhere along the line, they had also enjoyed playing together and sharing toys. They had that one big fight over the broken toy. But now they've both matured and they're like, hey, let's try playing in the sandbox together again. So,
yes.
And it worked out. But the other example I'm saying is no, never. I'm never letting you touch my toys again. Don't even look at my toys. So...
Are you talking about Philips?
Yes, I am talking.
Oh, that company.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There are a few others to it.
The Wand of Gamelon and the Adventure of... and the Link's whatchamacallit.
They really liked the Link toy a lot more than the Mario toy.
Yeah, Hotel Mario. Arguably, Hotel Mario is the better of those games because it's just an arcade game in the 90s.
Yeah, and you know what's funny to me, and I feel weird about saying this, but you know how there are those Mario Party games, I want to say probably the first time was 8 or 9, where you open up the doors?
Yeah.
I'm like, Hotel Mario. I can't help it. I think of Hotel Mario.
That's funny.
See that game. And I'm like, or kind of like this is what Hotel Mario could have been if it was good.
Yeah.
Although I've never actually played it, I've just heard accounts of it. Because I am not buying a Philips CDI.
I'm not in the market for one of those either yet.
I'm not quite that desperate for a Japan.
Yes.
Now, that's one of those things where absolutely we wouldn't do it unless we were gifted it, because I'm sure for the novelty of how bad they are and the fact that they're not, they had a short run, they're probably really expensive.
Yeah. Hell of expensive, like all the balls. Kidding. Just kidding.
It's okay.
But yeah, essentially they're very expensive and more of a novelty just to hear, nice of the princess to bring us over for a picnic, eh, Luigi? And that's...
Basically, YouTube poops, which are also what the Zelda games are good for.
How about a kiss? You've got to be kidding.
Is that a case where they were inspired by the 80s cartoon?
I'm thinking they were.
Stop getting bad ideas from other bad ideas.
Yes.
I did not agree with them making Link a womanizer, I suppose you could call it. I don't know if that's too extreme, but...
I don't think it's that extreme, because... he's a bad guy. I gotta get out of there.
It's kind of like if it wasn't a kid's show, he'd be asking for more than a kiss, if you get my drift.
Right.
But since it is a kid's show, he can only ask for a kiss. But I watched all 13 episodes, and I will say sometimes there are some scenes that are uncomfortable in that way.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I'm thinking of one that, like, for the convenience of fighting the bad guys, he had his belt, like, they were, how do I describe that?
Cleanly?
They were tied up with his belt, like, so that they could do back-to-back attacks. I'm very bad at explaining it.
It's okay.
But, which I'm like, okay, whatever, I could overlook that. But the fact that they were in that state, and once they defeated the bad guys, he asked for a kiss, I'm like, that is, very inappropriate.
Yeah, Link is not well known for his appropriate behaviors.
Yeah. And there was one time where, ironically, she almost seemed to consent to his advances, but then they got interrupted.
Of course.
Yeah. The one time she seemed interested. Because I guess she was just in that good of a mood that she's like, I guess I'll humor you.
Yes.
I assume unless she's actually interested in him and is just constantly playing hard to get.
Which is not nice.
Which is not nice either. Then we have Link as a womanizer and Zelda as a tease. That those aren't good. Those aren't really good traits to give our heroes.
No, they're not really.
I will give it credit. I think it is cool that they actually have Zelda fighting.
Yeah.
Something that to this... Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom did this. But to my knowledge, to this day, they have not had Zelda fight in any of the games. And the closest that I can think of, unfortunately, she was actually possessed by Ganondorf. So that doesn't count. And let me know in the comments. I want to be wrong. I want to be told, well, Zelda fights in Breath of the Wild, or Zelda fights in Tears of the Kingdom. In which case, if you tell me that, and you're not lying, I will play the game right now, because that would make me play it.
Yes.
Now, I'm hesitant to play both of those games, but I would play them. If you could actually play as Zelda and fight. And that is something, an idea that the CDI games had that were good. And it just sucks that the CDI games were so horrible, because they could have been ahead of their time. They could have showed Nintendo, hey, this is a good idea. Instead of always having Zelda be a damsel in distress, you should have her fight.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Have the person whose name is on the title be a hero.
Yeah, I mean, even Peach gets involved in fighting.
She does.
And before the Mario movie, before you say Illumination gets credit for that, they don't.
No, Super Mario Brothers 2 came out way before Illumination
Yes,
was even dreamed of by whatever.
And in a more canon game, I would say Mario 3D World is one of them, because you can play as Peach in that one. I'm trying to think of what else, but yeah, it always irked me that there, to my knowledge, is not a canon game where Zelda's doing any fighting. I mean, yes, she assists Link with her magic.
It'd be cool if
But
a certain character from Ocarina of Time fought
yeah,
and was playable.
yeah, that too. Or just Zelda, you know. Because I even in Phantom Hourglass, she's just there to assist you, like almost more like a Navi type role, I think. I haven't. Again, let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. If she actually does fight in Phantom Hourglass, I will take it back. But and then I will say, oh wow, something that Toon Link games did that's good. But
Listen, look. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that is something the Zelda games desperately need. And I know that they try to be like, well, she contributes to it in her own way, which is fine too, but have her pick up a sword sometime and like actually fight with it.
That'd be nice.
You know, have a situation where she assists Link, and in a way that's more than just throwing the sword back to him.
Yes.
I want that so bad.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. No, stop that. They're gonna get us in trouble.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah.
We can bleep that out, thanks.
You're probably okay because you didn't do too many notes, but...
Okay.
Because it's like I'm already taking out the music. I don't need to take out you singing too. If it was any other song that's not copywritten, I wouldn't have stopped you, but... Thanks a lot, person who copywrote their lyrics to it, but accidentally copywrote the whole song, or on purpose got a copyright on the whole track.
Yeah, I think there's some foul play afoot.
Me, personally...
How come Nintendo doesn't go after him?
I don't know. When, like, 10 years ago, Nintendo was going after people just for playing their game on YouTube.
Yes, they should have gone after him too. Oh! I didn't need to jump there. This part of the level is
Just kind of proves all you need is good lawyers. I mean, I'm guessing that's how he did it. I'm guessing he consulted a lawyer who was like, yeah, you can totally do it, and then he did it. And,
yeah, don't blame the lawyers. Blame the people who pay them.
yes. I am specifically blaming the people who pay the lawyers, because the lawyers are just trying to do a good job.
Correct. And their job is to argue and make a successful argument.
But you're right, people do place blame on the lawyers, and they're like, oh, lawyers are rats. And
Yeah, that's why it actually mildly irks me when people poo-poo too many of the guys who make the arguments. Like, both halves of the courtroom in the Law and Order show are important, and if you're bashing one, you're technically bashing both.
yeah, and yes, there are some corrupt lawyers that you have every right to hate because they either give bad advice or they get away with something they shouldn't have in the name of the law.
Correct.
But for the most part, it's really the law that you're angry at when you get mad at a lawyer.
Yes.
And it's like, yes, be mad at the law. Write to the Congress people, say, hey, this law sucks.
Yeah. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of...
Don't give up.
Thanks, I won't.
Both to you and to people who want to change corrupt laws.
Correct. That's why I need you. To help.
Yes. Correct.
Indeed. You know how much of a nightmare it is to get to that part of the game?
Because, yeah. And here we go again, folks.
Sorry about
From
that.
the top.
Yes. This is
But-
where the game starts to get really hard.
I've had experience, well, my family has had experience both with bad lawyers and good lawyers. I've seen both ends.
Yes,
In the case of the bad lawyer, he gave bad advice.
he did. Really nasty bad advice.
And I won't get into it because it's extremely good.
It is, and keep respect your privacy.
Yes. Because we found out that what said lawyer said was not. And it was less of a legal thing and more of a perception type of thing. Like, assuming, for example, well, I won't. So anyway, it's fine. I have had experience on both. Or family. I also had a very good lawyer that helped us in a very difficult time in our life, and we are very grateful for that lawyer.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not one who does the lawyer jokes.
Right.
Because aren't they just other mean-spirited jokes, just with the words swapped around?
People tend to make mean-spirited jokes about things they take issue with but can't do anything about.
Yeah.
That's just how we cope sometimes. We use humor.
Yes, you're right.
Yup.
I'm trying to get some progress on this level.
Yes. I know it takes forever to get there.
It does.
I do really like the design
Oh,
of this game's maps as well.
I love
And the overworld.
the design. I love that about this game.
It makes the world feel quite large. The overworld. That's why I feel like this influenced many of the future games. I know the first one did too, but this.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is where Hyrule was really starting to take form. Was really starting to take shape.
That was.
It was like a lot simpler in the first game. A lot like a new, fresh idea in the first game. And here, it feels more fleshed out, more alive.
Yeah, I love that about this game, and there's a bad guy here. That's
Like, oh, you thought you would get an item?
Yeah, I was hoping, because I desperately need magic.
He's like, oh, you thought, ha ha ha. I'm not actually a statue, I'm real, ha ha.
Yeah. I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. Makes me think of those performers in the street that pretend to be statues.
Yeah, we saw a few in Italy.
Yes. Initially, when I'm not expecting them and I see them, I get kind of anxious.
Yeah, it is very uncanny valley.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what's real anymore.
Yeah.
That type of feeling.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Passion.
It's fine as long as they don't purposely scare you.
Dying in midair. Alright, so let's see if I can pass this again.
Yes. Sorry, I had some water.
That's okay.
I was reacting to the fresh water.
It's always good to be fresh. The best kind of water, if you ask me.
Wow. We must be closer to the end,
Certainly.
considering
Certainly.
how difficult it is.
Yes. 'Cause I think this is the last of the crystals.
Whoa. So we are close to the end-ish.
Yes.
Wow. I've never seen the end of this game, so I'm like, whoa. I have heard about it. I know who Link fights in the end, but I've never actually seen it, so I'm like excited.
Me too. I don't want to disappoint you, buddy.
Because I won't spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it, but there is a boss, that's the final boss, that is different than who you'd expect.
Correct.
And it is a boss who comes back in a later game as a more minor boss, yes?
Oh.
I think so.
That's
Or am I
amazing.
thinking of the wrong thing?
Well,
Or are you
you
just
might be right.
Or are you just acting that way for the audience?
Well, mostly because I do not know if he comes back, honestly speaking.
This, who I thought
But-
was the final boss, is not the final
But you might be right.
boss. If I am wrong, then oh well.
Well, it's okay, bud. I mean,
But it's kind of like this boss, regardless of if it's the final boss or not, there is a boss who comes back in a later game, not as the main boss, but as a minor boss.
yes.
So maybe he's not the final boss. Which just cements that I haven't seen the whole game and that I'm just going off of what people told me. But you know, people lie. So
Well, you might be right.
I could have been misled.
Because I'm thinking of... Because I
two
have...
possibilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I have played this game before, and it's a challenge. But I think it's a challenge worth it. I don't think it's too hard.
Right.
But I would say that
I've heard it.
it is. I'm not gonna lie, it is difficult. And that we are. And
We'll do one more run to the temple though, I guess.
okay.
Yeah. I guess.
For today's episode. Yes.
So it'll be a bit longer, but not too
Yeah, so you'll get a little bit more of some entertainment. Because our hero Link does fight the force that's leading the moblins that's trying to revive Ganon.
And the final boss is... It's fine.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Leave it to your imagination. For now.
for now I'm going to assume it's and that the other person is not the final boss. I choose to believe that in my head. I choose to believe that the final boss is a twist final boss, but I could be wrong. It will always exist that way in my head canon. That's what AUs are for, folks.
That it is.
That's what AUs are for.
That's why I haven't invented alternate universes.
Ow.
You didn't need to throw anything about that, man.
Yeah, rude.
These blue iron knuckles are a pain.
He's like, got your knee, got your knee. Poke, poke, poke.
Yes!
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
And you're like, get out of my way.
Leapfrog. This is the scene of the crime last time.
Yes.
Ugh! Pointless if the doggone thing knocks you into the lava.
And then that's when Link appears and says, you're bad at this. and then you scream and throw the controller to the TV. Oh, God.
Wow, now we're in an acid trip on screen.
Jeez.
Alright, so we're gonna have to switch over to however good I am.
And it's doubling the screen. Are you trying to make me convinced that I'm on drugs or having a migraine?
I hope not. That's very not nice.
That's not
considering.
nice.
And that's the end of today's episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Which is good because this is painful to watch. Alright, you guys can't see it, but the screen looks like
it's back to normal now.
okay, but I gotta stop it because I don't want to have to
See everyone.
Bye guys.
Okay.